I'd like to thank Irvine Sloan for joining us to talk about a relatively new initiative at Duke Energy.
Thank you so much. So back in March of 2020, Duke Energy made the investment to develop a strategic account management organization. And that organization was set out to really develop holistic relationship with some of our largest corporate clients inside and outside of our regulated footprints. And the truth is that Duke is a local regulated utility here in the Southeast, but honestly, we span beyond just our local Midwest and Southeast chapters. And so we aim to really meet the customer where they are and go out to whether it be California or Arkansas or wherever it be, go out and meet with those corporate clients and get the full picture of what their needs are from a Duke Energy.
That's really great. Can you explain some of the programs that you work with them on?
So some of the programs we work with them on are, one, we match up our executives with their executives. We call it our executive sponsorship program to make sure we've got some deep insights at the corporate level. We also do things such as design thinking workshops where we really try to really understand what some of the pain points of some of those corporate accounts and really dig into solutions that Duke Energy can provide.
Yeah, can you tell me a little bit more about who's on your team?
Our inception was in March 2020. We started from scratch, and we were very fortunate to build our team with a diverse group of stakeholders who are from many different walks of life. We have people from the IT and analytics world. We have people from the legal profession. We have people from the supply chain profession. As we continue to grow the team, we're really focused on having a diverse mindset because we feel like diversity is at the center of how we innovate and how we can meet our customers regardless of what their background is. Many of our clients at the corporate level, they have finance backgrounds, or they may have a legal background or have an engineering background. We want to make sure we match the backgrounds of our customers.
That makes a lot of sense. Has the response from your customers been positive?
Absolutely. I think not only our ability to meet the needs of our customers where they're at, but also internally, given that Duke is such a large organization, there's a lot of intercompany issues that we have to also address. And so in doing so, we've got experts on our team that kind of help work through those issues, whether it being a legal issue, whether it being a finance issue. We've got people on our team that kind of help expedite some of those issues because they have experience in that particular department.
That's fantastic. Do you have any success stories so far?
Absolutely. We've started small. We've got a team of 3 strategic account managers, and each of them have been assigned 4 accounts. Each of them have been able to build some strong relationships at the corporate level with a lot of these accounts, partnering on things such as diversity and inclusion, partnering on, call it non-energy related things such as cybersecurity and other aspects where we mutually have these needs.
Sustainability is a really big topic these days. Can you talk a little bit about how you're supporting your customers and how it's really a partnership to achieve goals around sustainability?
Absolutely. So here at Duke Energy, we have our own goals to become net zero CO2 by 2050. In addition, many of our customers have very, very aggressive goals as well. Net zero by 2025, net zero by 2030, so by 2030. So we recognize that we've got to do some partnering with those corporations to make sure we can kind of meet them where they're at and help them achieve their goals alongside helping us achieve our goals. Many of the solutions are not quite developed yet. And so by using those type of companies who are a little bit more, who play in different spaces than we do, we can innovate even faster.
How are you engaging with influencers in the clean energy transition?
Well, in many cases, we actually use analytics to understand who are the big players in the energy industry. Using various sources, we're able to understand the corporate structures of some of these large corporations, understand how many people they have vested in clean energy. And we kind of partner with those companies because in many cases, they are the industry leaders. In addition to, we map some of our experts with those companies, and we can develop these really innovative solutions that can drive the whole industry forward.
How are you aligning with your strategic accounts beyond just their energy usage?
Well, the reality is energy is important to a lot of these large corporate clients, but truth be told, a lot of their issues are much broader than just energy. And so therefore, we have to really work with these clients to understand what those issues are. Many of them are related to things such as cybersecurity, things such as diversity and inclusion, or corporate engagement, sustainability. Those are things that are very pressing at this moment in time. And so we're engaging with them on things also beyond the energy.
What trends are you seeing?
I would say specific to energy, there's a huge focus from a lot of our corporate buyers on renewable energy. We're seeing a lot of focus on sustainability. And some of the challenges we're also seeing is that, there's not a whole lot of a large workforce out there presently. And so we're seeing some gaps in workforces where they may or may not have the people that they need to deliver on some of their large sustainability goals.
Can we talk a bit about analytics and how your team is strategically leveraging them, and also how Duke uses them overall?
Overall, I mean, Duke is a data-driven company. We have quite a few engineers and analysts, analytic majors on our from analytic background on our teams. So we're definitely a data-driven company. We're using it to just get deeper customer insights. We're looking at some trends, what things analysts can tell us about where the market's going. We're doing all of that as it relates to analytics.
What about your clients? Are they leveraging analytics as well?
Absolutely. Many of the companies we work with are very large tech firms. There are a lot of big box stores, and they're all using analytics to get better customer insights of their own customers, but also to understand their own energy use, making sure that they're making smart decisions, using energy the most effective and efficient way. And so they're also using analytics in their processes.
What are the goals of your organization?
I would say our high-level goal is to develop some corporate partnerships or relationships where we have a mutual trust that are very sustainable, where we can see mutual benefit and drive the industry forward. Also, one important thing about our strategic account program that I may have not hit on yet is that there's an ecosystem. A lot of these big accounts, they work with each other quite often, and so we're starting to find partnerships that are not just a singular partnership, but a triangular partnership where there's 2 or 3 organizations that are partnering together alongside Duke Energy to even innovate even quicker. So that's another key facet of our program, is that it's not just about a single account, it's about an ecosystem of accounts.
I want to thank Sage McLaughlin for being here with us. We're going to first start off talking a little bit about analytics. So you're in a role where you're supporting strategic accounts. Can you share how you work with them and both leverage analytics to succeed?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I actually come from an analytics background. Prior to working in strategic account management, I worked on a data science team, which was wonderful. And I think one of the things that is probably most surprising about being on the business side is how much our customers look like us from a data-driven perspective. Most of the conversations we have are about model inputs and influences that analytics can have. So analytics is important. It's a part of every conversation, and I think modeling is always top of mind for us.
Really interesting. You talked a lot about data science, but are there things beyond data science and energy that you partner with your customers on?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for the strategic account management program, it's important to think about the kilowatts and the wires and all of the energy-based things we do. But we definitely try to make sure we're thinking beyond the energy. Energy touches everything. So we want to be thinking about communities and products and jobs and diversity. And so a number of our conversations definitely lead to these might be our goals, but what are all of the things that these goals can and will and should impact?
That's fantastic. It's really cool to see Duke taking that holistic look with your customers. Do you have any success stories you'd want to share?
Yeah, I think while most people would think of strategic accounts or relationship departments as very revenue driven, one of the things that we do is when we're talking about our customers' needs and the products or services that we have that might help fill them, we talk about how that fits into the bigger picture. So in talking to a customer about their electric fleet and moving to a kind of a cleaner energy transition, we also get pulled into conversations about how are buildings being managed, or what are the sustainability goals? And so we've had a lot of success working with customers who we had a footprint with here in kind of the Duke Energy territory. But we're also a national company who gets to work with them commercially. And that means we get to work on sustainability all across the US.
Can you tell me a little bit how data has changed with the digital transformation?
I think we have data, but it's now more accessible and granular than ever. So how are we using it? How are we leveraging it? And how are we using it for a cleaner energy transition? Ultimately, I think making those decisions is going to come from a place of understanding the data, looking at the different ways it could be sliced and diced, and analytics is at the forefront of that.
Tell me more about how you work with your customers.
Great question. So I think a big part of what we do is we align with them on their goals and strategies, but also our own goals. We have a huge goal to be net zero by 2050, and we want to make sure that's in alignment with what we're seeing from industry leaders. Ultimately, the goals that we have and a lot of our big strategic accounts have is to change the impact in the future of energy. And that means thinking about sustainable communities, sustainable jobs, sustainable energy, and working together to have those conversations is how we're going to get it done.
That's awesome. Your team is really interesting and diverse. Do you think you share that with your customers?
I think so. This organization is really new. Started in March of 2020, right before the shutdown. And so I think that was a huge kind of leap of faith of Duke to say, we want to really be customer-centric, both in the commercial area, which we have long great relationships with our customers, but also nationally with our accounts. And part of building the organization was thinking, how can we streamline getting things done quickly? How can we reach and achieve our goals? And what does it take to make up an organization that can do that very quickly? So my peers come from all sorts of backgrounds, and we've decided there's no perfect blueprint for what a strategic account manager looks like. So I come from a background of analytics, and I worked in product and startup for many, many years. And my peers are attorneys and supply chain folks, and it's really cool.
So it's really interesting because you have a cool job where you're interfacing with these large corporate entities and learning about some of their largest goals. Can you share a little bit about what trends you're seeing and how they align with Duke's goals?
Yeah, I think a big theme that's coming across both Duke Energy as well as a lot of our strategic accounts is they're thinking about sustainability. How can they change their operations and be future ready and forward thinking? But they're also thinking about how they can help their customers through that transformation. Our clean energy transformation is all about communities, individuals, and energy. And so as we work with our customers, they're thinking about how can we use telecom to be more sustainable? How can we leverage data and information differently? So I think our goals apply to us as an industry, but they ultimately affect people and everybody that we work with.
Can you tell me a little bit about what collaboration might look like with your customers and what you've learned from each other?
Yeah, I think a big part of what we do is we set our goals, our customers set their goals, and we try to align on that to ultimately build a better energy future. But for Duke, reliability and safety are top of mind always. And so if we can help have conversations that help other industries become more safe and more reliable, we definitely want to be there. We also work with our customers in information and telecom to find and learn from them in areas that are high value, where they're best of class. We want to join them. And I think in order to work together, we all have to be willing to learn and collaborate and teach each other those kind of things.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our live Q&A. I'm so excited to have Sage with us from Duke Energy live to take your questions. And I'll just get right into it because we don't have too much time. One of the questions that we got was when you're looking at modeling scenarios and analyzing data, how has that process evolved at Duke? I know you're kind of a big data person, so really interested in hearing a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for having me. I think when I think of the evolution of data science, of analytics, and all of the things, there's a couple levers that are being pulled in that. One, with smart meters, we're seeing so the data is just so much more granular. And so that gives us an opportunity to really identify ways to save the consumer money, to work with energy efficiency, but also data science is evolving. I think, years ago, there was obviously computer science, but the way we think of computers and data and energy together is just a complete evolution. So I would say a lot of it comes with the granularity of data and how much we can do with it now that it's, so close together in those time series.
Gotcha. So kind of technology advancements allowing us to get more granular data allows us to then develop the analytics and the software to analyze that data even further.
Yes.
It's great. A question actually from our audience, I guess, as it relates to the modeling. If others were to replicate this model, what kind of lessons would you share with them?
The model of strategic account management and analytics in general, I would say there is so much opportunity out there to leverage data, to add data together, to look at models in different ways. And I think being open to collaboration is kind of what we're all about right now. We don't have to reinvent the wheel when what we need is a sled. The goal is to get down the hill. And so I think being open to open source opportunities, being open to leveraging experts in the areas or experts of certain data types, and then collaborating. I think most commonly our conversations with our clients aren't about, our big corporate clients aren't necessarily about the nuts and bolts. It's what assumptions does your model have? What inputs are you using? How do we get our data to match when we're making these assumptions?
Gotcha. I think we talked a little bit already about the trends that you've experienced in working with corporate clients. Are there any kind of key learnings where if you were to give this advice back to utilities for their operations that you would say, like, definitely do this or definitely consider this?
Yeah, I think energy has come so far. And so it probably wasn't very long ago that these large corporate partners that we work with had one or two people who knew about data. Now we have these folks who are experts in the field and have entire organizations or departments that are dedicated to their energy and their energy needs and the data that goes along with it. I think my advice to utilities would be leverage each other, leverage other utilities for their learnings and operations, leverage our corporate partners. If somebody is a lead box store or a lead data center, talk to them about the way you're solving problems, because I think the transition we're going through can't be solved alone. And so the more utilities talk to each other and talk to our customers, the more we can work together.
I want to expand on that a little bit. Is the reason why kind of working with others might be why, or it might be because of some of the challenges that you reached when you were forming the group? If you could speak to maybe some of those challenges a little bit and how you guys overcame them.
I think so much of what we see with our customers is they want a voice, they want to be heard, they want to be represented, because we're here as a utility for our customers. And so one of the things we do, and we talk about very openly at Duke Energy, is how do we look, feel, act, think like our customers? And that's pretty easy because most of us are Duke Energy customers. But an example is I come from a tech background. I get to work with our tech clients. We have folks that come from legal background or supply chain backgrounds. And so they really identify not just the geography, but also the expertise and kind of the jargon they speak. How can we have more folks who are thinking about the problem from a different perspective? And so I think that's how we try to represent our customers and think customer as much as we can.
That's great. Representation of customers with employees represented as well. That's a really great model to follow. I have another question actually from the audience asking about the role of energy efficiency and what role do you think energy efficiency will continue to play going forward, going into the future as advanced data and analytics continue to expand? So maybe the role of your group and how you guys are approaching energy efficiency goals with it, perhaps.
Yeah. So much of what we do when we're thinking about energy is how do we get everybody affordable, reliable energy all the time? And so when we're talking about energy efficiency, I think a lot of that comes down to sustainability goals, reliability goals. How do we make sure that you have just enough, but nothing is wasted, and that we're providing that energy to you in sustainable ways? Duke Energy has goals to be net zero carbon by 2050. And so we don't want to be building tons of plants and producing all of the energy for the entire world. We want to make sure that our customers have affordable, reliable energy in a way that makes sense for them. And that means helping them find ways to reduce their energy usage. So a big part of that is identifying adoption rates for things like EVs versus LED light bulbs, and then also thinking through not just the adoption rates of today and the products we have today, but what are the new products that are going to come out, and how are people going to adopt additional things that are going to take energy, and how can we be efficient both with current technology and newer innovative technology, and be in partnership with that conversation.
That's great. I want to expand on that just a little bit, because I know visually is only one part of the technology that's kind of supporting, especially the EV identification effort. Can you speak about a little bit more about maybe other technologies you guys are leveraging in this effort?
I think we don't try to do anything alone. And I think that's the big part of it. There's a lot of things that Duke Energy has developed and built and can offer to our customers, but there's also a number of amazing technologies and technology partnerships like Vigily, where we can leverage expertise from other areas. So we do a lot of work with commercial renewables and wind farms and solar farms on our Duke Energy Sustainable Solutions side of the house. But we also are working with our partners for e-fleets and making sure that our partners with large workforces are thinking about electric vehicles as they come out. As we talk about emissions and we talk about all of the goals that you see these large customers working to accomplish, we want to be lockstep with them. And sometimes that means coming with our expertise, but other times it means inviting expertise from the Microsofts, the Accentures of the world. There was a recent announcement about a partnership that Duke Energy is doing with Microsoft and Accenture for emissions tracking. And so it's those kind of opportunities where if we don't have all the answers ourselves, we're happy to be the facilitator to bring the right people to the table.
That's great. I think it also speaks to kind of the green vortex that's building around customers bringing in expertise or partners, utilities bringing it in, regulators, everybody's has the goal in mind of how do we become more sustainable. And because we're all demanding it, we're creating opportunities and creating new projects around it. So that's great. Just one final question. Are there any projects that you're excited about coming up in the future that you can share a bit more about?
I come from innovation, so I think I'm just constantly on the edge of my seat with whatever next new project might be coming. Today, announced with Google Nest is Nest Renew. So Duke Energy is a partner in that, and all of the news went out about that. So partnership with a company like Google and the products and services in Nest is always exciting, and happy to see so many utilities a part of that. Additionally, we are a partner with AT&T for their Connected Climate Initiative, which they are working to help customers reduce emissions, and any way that we can help make sure that we're thinking about affordable, reliable, and sustainable future is really what we think of when we want to build a better energy future. So lots of good partnerships already out there, but a lot more to come. So yeah, keep your eye on us.
Great. Thank you so much, Sage, for being with us today. And for folks that are still on the line, please make sure to check out our day 4 for the workshops that we'll have. We can discuss more about electrification efforts, as well as technologies that are available for that, as well as take any further questions and explorations together. But thank you so much again, Sage, for being with us today.
Thank you.